Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
RSCast is the stats that we're bringing. Stream alerts, you know that's where we're pinging. The usual plays and the fails that we're showing. How's the week gone? It's what we're reviewing. Yeah. Rhino cast in the flesh, he's made the attendance. Paying for him, drained all of our receipts account balance. He's made it big now, casting the main event action. Doesn't cast for us now, does it not give him satisfaction? Pegasus is his name, but of course we can't forget the sir. Team Serene haven't missed you as AGM, it was a blur. Didn't take long to win franchise of the season without you. Finally got yourself a haircut, that's so long way overdue. Well, we got ourselves a real life lunchbox on screen. With Kingsman around, there's one less player on your team. Dan Skew didn't want to run it back, not surprised man. Even scared of cash so fast, he flew straight to Japan. Lastly, Mal, please do us a favor and don't break the stream. If you didn't have V-Mix, you wouldn't even be on the team. RSCast is the stats that we're bringing. Stream alerts, you know that's where we're pinging. The usual plays and the fails that we're showing. How's the week gone? It's what we're reviewing.
We are back once again for the final RS cast of the regular season. Boys, we did it! One full season! Okay, not, you know, there's the postseason coming up, but, you know, we're here. Unfortunately, one of us is not. I am joined, as usual, by Kingsman Gas to my left, but you may notice that there is somebody else on my right-hand side and someone else to clown who doesn't have a green screen. Mal, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. I got home from work, 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, and had a message saying, I can't make it from Pegasus. So here I am instead. Yeah,
Pegasus, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we hope you're having a terrible time. You've left us completely in the mud here on RSCast. Kingsman, a 5-week season is over now. Add another one to the ticker. But, you know, it feels like it was just yesterday that we were starting RSCast again for the new season. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Being a shorter season, it means that there's an even bigger chance of us getting a 100% attendance record. Not in Pegasus' case. He is not, trust me, he is not hiding behind Mal. It's not one of Mal's gimmicks where he's hiding behind or he's somewhere. No, Pegasus
there he is
really not here today. That is not Pegasus in the background. But no, short season, league play is over, but obviously playoffs still to come, and we're going to talk about the people and the players that make it and those that don't.
You know what, Kingsman, it's almost as if you planned that segue, because we are exactly going to talk just about that. We've had a week of action here in the RSC, and we're going to talk through it all. We are going to go through all of the results from last week, tell you what the final standings are, and what the playoffs are going to look like moving forward. So, Mal, push the buttons for me, please. Let's go to the weekly recap, starting in Academy. And because you are taking the place of Sir Pegasus, Mal, you can take us through the Glacies action from last week.
I have just realised, before we start, I can't make fun of Pegasus not being able to pronounce him anymore. And I can't pronounce him myself.
Yeah, it's going to get bad.
However, we start out with quite a few ties in the side of Glacies. We have Anubis versus Tuatanai. And Rain
about as close as Pegasus gets.
Yeah. Rain versus Coyotal. And Rain versus Livin. So a double draw there from Rain. Coyotal also getting a double draw, as well as Neat Esport Academy. We also see Anubis also getting double draw this week. And the rest seem like a bit more closer results. We have Purpose going 7-1, Ascendance going 0-8, Drengir going 6-2, and then Yanito going perfectly equal between Livens and Riffle. So it's all around a relatively good week for some, in Glacies, and some people not so much.
There you go. Top tier analysis in place of Sir Pegasus there for you. Some teams did well, some teams did badly. Is it the same look over on Ignis, Kingsman?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, every team either does good or does badly. So Mal has analysed every single team there. So he's just got to keep this up, and he is flying. Well, it was the final week in a very close Academy Ignis conference, and there was only one team to capitalise on a double win week. It was Bro. They got a 4-0 sweep onto Unitox and a 3-1 win onto Calidus. Some very good results for them at the end of the season. Origin as well, they picked up a rare loss here against Hayes, getting swept. In fact, a brilliant result for Hayes in their other game. They did manage to pick up a 3-1 win against Arconyx, but Arconyx just couldn't pull anything else together as they also got beat 3-1 by Xinjiang, a team that played two teams that got swept but lost both of them. Honourable mention as well to the team that were in last place at the start of last week. It was Shell. I said Shell were pretty much gone. However, is there a chance they've pulled it back? They got a 4-0 sweep onto High Flyers Hayes, a brilliant result to set them up, and then a 2-2 against Husky. Two top sides. I ruled them out last week, but they've gone 6-2 in a very solid week. Has that been enough to put them into the top 6? Well, we'll only see.
Couple of teams yelling, never show me the odds in the final week. Let's take a look then as we move into the Glacies final standings for the regular season in Academy. And Mal, who moved up, who moved down in Academy in the final week?
Yeah, I have a feeling the arrows here are not correct.
I also get that impression, yeah.
I don't quite know what's going on there. Usually I can fix it, but obviously today it's a bit awkward, so we're just going to have to live with it. But we start with Purpose up in first place with their 30 wins. Drengir following not too far behind is 25 wins in second. Anubis and Riffle tied for that third place spot. I believe Anubis winning based off head-to-head, I would assume. Heading further down, we have Yanito with 21 in fifth place. Rain and Livens on 19. Once again, Rain just making it into play-ins with the head-to-head difference. The Neat Esports Academy roster and Coyotel also tied on 18 wins. Them only getting 8 based on head-to-head, but at that point it doesn't matter anymore. And finally, Ascendants coming in with only 5 wins by the end of the season, but all round a pretty close mid-table there.
Mal tried one time to say Tutanai and then just did not try at any point after that. And you know what? It makes sense. They didn't make playoffs, so that is the case. But yeah, it's always an interesting one when we discuss play-ins and playoffs. So the top 3 teams are guaranteed to be getting into playoffs. It's just whether they're going to be in the upper or lower bracket. So Purpose will find themselves in the upper bracket. Drengir will play third place from Ignis, which we'll talk about in a minute. And Anubis will play second place from Ignis. The loser of each of those matches will go into the lower bracket for the playoffs. The winners will go into the upper bracket. And then we have 6th versus 5th in cross-conference. So Rain will play 5th place from Ignis. Unito will play 6th place from Ignis. And then the winners of those 2 games will then go on to play either Riffle or 4th place from the Ignis conference. And the winner of those games will then go into the lower bracket of Championship Sunday. Makes sense? I hope it does. Speaking of Ignis, let's go over and take a look then at how that table filled out. By the way, just before we do go, Rain being 1 goal difference higher than Livens, that is criminal. That is absolutely insane. How close were the standings in Ignis, Kingsman?
Well, very, very, very close.
Oh my goodness.
Another week would have given us an absolute thriller of an ending for that 6th place spot. Alas, we won't get it. Anyway, it is Bro who topped the table, just getting ahead of Origin in that final week. Getting swept by Hayes was their real downfall as Bro sweep up that top spot on 26 wins. Then it's Origin on 25 in second. Husky on third on 24. A very solid top three, separated by a series down to fourth, where it's Hayes, who are ahead of Calidus on head-to-head, fourth and fifth. Then 3 games below them, you've got Trickery, who didn't pick up a win in their last 5, but a good start to season means they scrape it through. Then, just missing out on head-to-head, I imagine. I truthfully don't know whether these have been updated for head-to-head yet or not. I'm going to assume they have for this stream. If not, please do correct me at some point. But as it stands and as the table shows us, Trickery will be the team advancing to play-ins, just ahead of Xinjiang on 17 wins behind them. They miss out by 1 single game win. And then 1 game win behind all of them, you've got Ascent, who went double draw this week. Just a single game win could have put them in the fight for top 6. Arconics going double loss. That was just a killer. And Shell, I did say they went 6-2, but it's just too late. It was too late. Almost a bit too good to be true in a sense, Rhino.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, it's an incredible effort in the final week. Just didn't quite happen for them in the end. So we do have a couple of head-to-heads, as you rightly say. So it was actually in the previous table in Glacies. We do believe that it is DSQ who are going through. Sorry, it's Deathcloud who are going through over DSQ.
Yeah, and it's Unitox that won head-to-head against Trickery, by the way, in this tier. So I'll swap that round. It'll be Xinjiang who finished 6th place, and it'll be Trickery who miss out. Sorry, Shattered is literally just posting all of the head-to-heads for us at the minute in the RSCast chat. So Shattered, thank you, massive shout out. But yeah, only swap from this. Xinjiang go above Trickery.
All right, there you go. So those are your teams making it through in Academy. Now, normally we would go to the fixtures for next week. However, we don't actually have those just at this moment. So instead, we are going to be going straight up to the next tier, which is going to be Prospect. And let's take a look at all the Prospect results from last week, starting with the Glacies, who desperately wanted to get to that postseason last week, Mal.
Definitely, and I'm starting to think Neat Esports just does this to annoy us. But Ayaskari, is it Ayaskari? Looks like
as good as you're going to get. Yeah.
Getting a 7-1 week, which was incredible for them. I don't know how much it has affected the standard for them, but a very, very strong week. Thunder similarly getting 6-2. Another impressive week coming out there, sadly meaning Yokai only getting 2 wins across the entire week. Nanettle also having a pretty bad week there, going 1-7. Definitely seen better. Looking further across the table, we have a couple draws we have a draw between Boulder and Numagis, in which Boulder, I think, needed it more than Numagis did. But I think overall, a pretty close table. Most wins weren't for us, so that's something.
It sure is, Mal. It sure is. Thank you very much. Moving across then to the Ignis side. A couple more sweeps over on that side from what I can tell.
Yes, Rhino. There is a few more, and a few more teams looking to absolutely dominate. Snap being one of them. They decided it was their week to go 8-0, sweeping Bro and sweeping Ankoli Watusi. A brilliant final week for them. Following in their footsteps, you got a Cultus sweeping Embark and getting a 3-1 win on Ankoli Watusi to make their end of the season pretty miserable. As well as that, shout out the other sweep, it is going to be Obscurity getting a sweep onto Spark. A very good result, especially considering they were 2 mid-table teams. And then Obscurity picked up a 2-2 draw against Tomfoolery. Apart from that, there's a mixed few results, and there was only 1 draw, or there's 2 draws, sorry, as well, with Bro and Nexus picking up results there. But a very good week with the teams that were at the top last week winning their respective games.
There you go. So what has that done to the tables? Let's take a look. Moving then into the Glacies results from the season. Who has made the postseason, Mal, and who just missed out?
So, Thunder, after their wins, holding a very, very close 31 wins in first place, with Tide coming right up behind with 29. Ayaskari getting 25 wins puts them pretty safely in third here, although one win behind Keanu from DSQ, holding fourth place. Let me double check. Umagis did win on head-to-head against Yokai here, so this is the correct order of 5th and 6th. And then the 4 teams that did not make it into play-ins, we have Boulder with 18 wins, Devotion with 16, Impact with 11, and Nettle, especially after their very, very weak performance this week, come out with 9 wins.
There you go. So no head-to-heads needed for Glacies, although it was very close between Boulder, Umagis, and Yokai, but one win away go Boulder. But over on the Ignis side, Kingsman, well, the story's not quite as clear-cut.
No, it wasn't, but the story had one author in the Ignis conference, and that was Snap. A whopping 33 out of 40 wins, an 83% win percentage. Snap were unstoppable. A plus 70 goal difference. There's 6 teams in this conference with a negative goal difference. That is testament to how dominant Snap have been this season. They are 8 game wins ahead of second, and if you even want to put more context into it, they are 13 wins clear of 4th place. So they have absolutely stormed it this season. 8-0 week to end off as well. Brilliant for them. Occultus, a close second, 25 wins. Also very much clear of 3rd. And Fenrir, they scraped over the line, going equal this week. They go 21 wins. Then it's Obscurity and Spark on 4th and 5th on respective games, 20 and 19. Then you've got Tomfoolery and Core tied on 18. Now, let me just double check the stats thing here. It is correct in place. Illusory win on overall goal difference. So I imagine this would have been one where head-to-head was tied. Head-to-head goal difference was tied. And it's come down to goal difference. And, well, it shows you don't concede as many goals, you score more, you will get benefited if it comes down to it. As Tomfoolery take the final play-in spot, and then missing out will be Core, Bro, and Koliwatusi, and then Embark. There's a head-to-head for Ankoli-Watusi and Embark, but I'm not even going to go into it since neither make play-ins, so it does not really matter.
It matters for franchise standings a little bit. No, it doesn't. I'm lying. It's just points, isn't it? It doesn't matter. You know, you're absolutely right. It matters for pride, all right? And Unitox take 9th based on head-to-head. So there you go. Those are your Ignis standings. Those are your prospect standings. Those are your playoff teams in prospects. We move up now to Challenger. We take a look at the final week from Chally and all of the results that happened over there. Mal, why don't you talk us through what happened in Glacies last week?
We can start out by talking about how many draws there were in that last week. I know for a fact my team of Atmos got 2 draws. It looks like Dynasty got 2 draws as well. A few surprise results coming out here as well, as we see Thralls lose 0-4 to Shivas. I don't know if that has affected their playoffs chances. We will have to see shortly. But Psycho doing very well with a 6-2 week. Shamali also dropping a game against Psycho that I don't think most people would expect them to do. So all round, there's a few upsets, a lot of draws, and it may have affected the tables.
It certainly might have done. I'm sure we'll find out in just a moment. Lots of draws on the Glacies side, not so many on the Ignis side, Mal.
Go on, Mal. Off you go.
Mal, goodness me. Kingsman.
That's how bad Ryden wants to get rid of me. He'd rather have Mal do both
What the hell?
conferences than me have one conference. I mean, Mal does enough already. Poor guy.
He does.
Yeah, less draws over here, and only one team going double win on their push for top 3, and that was Eclipse, getting a 3-1 win onto Pulse and a 3-1 win onto Amarok. Both teams were in the top 3, so it's a mega week for Eclipse as they look to start to finish their playoff charge strong. Amarok, though, not to be said the same. They picked up a 2-2 draw with Mischief as well, sending them negative in the final week. And, well, lots of teams picking up wins unexpected. I think Snow and Bro would be the main one of those, as Snow swept Rise, who were holding on to that 6th place spot, to try and steal it away from them. And then Bro, they picked up a 3-1 win onto Qantas. And now I know Qantas were bottom of the table, but that was a very close play-ins towards the end of week 4. And now week 5, have either of those teams dispossessed Rise?
So what does that mean for the standings? Let's head to the table and find out. We somehow have yet another head-to-head decider around the 6th and 7th spots, Mal. Talk us through it.
Absolutely. First of all, we talk about Atmos. 28 wins, at least one game clear of, or one full series, ahead of Jamali. But definitely not meaning they are in any way better, because it is a very, very close tier all round. But Jamali, 2nd place with 23 wins. Kanan's and Kaizen tying on win. I believe Kanan does win that on head-to-head due to some relatively bad results from Kaizen in the first half of the season.
Yep.
Psycho getting a massive jump up with their 6 wins, putting them into 5th place. And like you said, 6th and 7th, both tied on 19. I believe it goes in favour of Neat.
It does.
Meaning that Thralls have been knocked out and cannot make play-ins. A very, very surprise result, I believe. However, Dynasty, Swirl, and Shivas, despite potentially having good weeks, still just not managing to make it in.
Yeah, very close. And there was actually another head-to-head between 8th and 9th, between Dynasty and Swirl. And we actually have got that one the other way round. So it's Swirl who take 8th place and Dynasty who take 9th place. Shiva's still at the bottom, unfortunately, for Medallions. Right, let's then move on to Ignis, where we also have a lot of head-to-head mess aroundy, but less important, I would suggest, over on the Ignis side, as we've got a combination of 5th and 6th. We've got a combination of 7th and 8th, but we haven't got over that kind of threshold to worry about. So Kingsman, take us through Ignis.
Yeah, it was Mischief who took it away. No loss in the final week, and they capitalize on other teams slipping. They take top of the table. Although I believe I saw Mutz say somewhere, hold on, I will take a bit of time because I believe Mutz did say Illusionary Challenger is out because they didn't play mandatory games for sub.
Yes.
Apparently. I think I
That's
did
a good
see
point.
that. So I'm gonna completely think about how this works. Knock Mischief off the top. I'm not gonna say they cheated, but they did. They didn't do the correct amount of games. It is actually going to be Amarok who take top spot going into play-ins on 26 wins. Pulse on 22 and 2nd. It's going to be Eclipse on 3rd. This is very confusing, on 21st. Then it's going to be Fujiyoshi and Rise 4th and 5th. Now that is a tiebreaker that actually matters because one team will go further, and it is Unitox who hold on to that 4th place spot. Now Ember versus Snow with Mischief's elimination means that is for a 6th place spot, and it is Brave who claim that 6th place spot. They thought their season was over. It isn't. They make the play-ins. Then you got Snow, Bro, and Qantas to finish off the batch with Illusory's disqualification sitting, leaving a very rough patch on their season.
Yeah, it is. There's a current argument going on in chat, by the way, just about Glacies just a moment ago, about Thralls versus Trabe. We have been told, based on head-to-head, that Neat is through and Thralls are out. That is the information that we have based purely on the head-to-head between Berserkers and Neat Esports. If you have proof of anything else, we will go back and correct that. But that is just what we are being told as it stands.
I'm having a look.
But
I'm investigating.
It's really interesting that in this conference in Ignis, while we go away and start figuring that out, that of course Illusory have been knocked off their perch with not playing enough substitute games, which then, from my understanding, will lead to the Ember versus Snow head-to-head being completely important, and it will be Brave Ember who just sneak into the playoffs, as you rightly say, Kingsman. So a head-to-head that didn't seem to matter a moment ago suddenly becomes very important. And then obviously Fujiyoshi versus Rise becomes important because one of them then only needs to win one game in the play-ins rather than two. And that is going to be Fujiyoshi who get fourth. So
Shatter's wrong. He's just said TBK win on head-to-head.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
What? Yeah. Oh my. Okay. It was 2-2.
Game.
But
wow.
there was in fact they won the first game 10-0. They got a +5 goal difference over them over series. So we are wrong, but it's not our fault. You can blame Shattered. He's given us all this information. I said thank you for that earlier. He's now feeding us false information, so I feel like my thanks could be revoked.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough.
But at least we know the truth now. We did the research, and it is going to be Thralls that are through ahead of me. So there you go. Let's then move on. So that's Chally, drawn a line under. Hopefully, there are no other tiers that get as weird as Challenger. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, goodness me. I've just looked at the number of rival head-to-heads that we've got to deal with. Okay, let's take a look then at what happened last week to set up all of this mess. As Mal, what happened in Glaciers?
Generally, it was pretty even once again. There was a few 3-1s, quite a few draws, and one 4-0 showing up on in the favor of Phoenix. Although they did then go and get 3-1 by Cars. So overall, a pretty even week for them. Floki going 2-6, not great for their chances if they were close to making it in. However, we see the likes of Carl's going positive, even if only by one game. Vortex going completely even. Scath getting, I think, -1 in terms of games won to loss. But overall, it's definitely going to have an effect, because I imagine all tiers are as close as they have been so far. But honestly, I think this table could go anyway.
It sure could, and I love the suspense that you're adding onto it, Mal, but we first have to go to Kingsman to talk us through the Ignis results from last week.
As Mal would say, there were teams that won, teams that lost, and teams that drew over in the Ignis conference. Raiju kept up their draw merchant status by going a double draw this week, getting a good draw against mid-table Mirage, and a good draw against top-of-the-league Thread, who also went double draw in their game against Marvel. That was a first versus second contest, so both teams equally as happy to walk away from it there. However, Marvel then decided to get the better of it against Aptus, getting a 4-0 sweep, putting the pressure onto Thread. Did Thread have enough to thread the needle into that first place spot? Well, you'll find out in the table. Aptus, though, they did go double loss in the end, obviously getting swept by Aptus and swept by Flame. 0-8 in the final week is not what you want to see, especially when one of the teams below you decides it is their time to lock in Focus, getting a 3-1 win against Cousins and a 3-1 win against Kianina. That is a 6-game win swing in this conference. So have Aptus lost it all in game week 5, or do they have enough to just hold on?
We will find out in just a moment's time, Kingsman. But first, we need to look at the Glaciers conference. Are there any head-to-head shenanigans happening over in a rival Glacies, Mal.
Oh, absolutely there is. And there's some important ones that are happening. We have Identity up in first with 28 wins. Very, very closely behind, we have Caligo with 26. And our first head-to-head shenanigan happens in third and fourth, where we have Phoenix and Shinjiro at 25 wins each. And according to what Shatter sent us, Team Serene have won that on head-to-head, meaning that they would be in third place and Phoenix in fourth. Very, very closely behind, we have Carl's. They are 24. So there is very, very few wins between first and fifth. Then another tiebreaker that matters. We have Tizok versus Scath, in which Neat wins on the head-to-head, meaning that Scath makes it in that 6th place spot for play-ins, and Tizok is just knocked out, followed by Riptide in 8th, and just for the love of the game, one last head-to-head between Floki and Vortex, with Vortex, I believe, winning that one.
Yep. Seems that they do on head-to-head goal difference specifically, and those are the most brutal head-to-heads, right? Like, on a normal head-to-head, you can kind of see it, but head-to-head goal difference specifically is pretty tough to lose by. So, there you go. That's your Glacies conference sorted. Let's take a look at the Ignis conference. Let's move across. And I believe where we had a 6th and 7th head-to-head in Glacies, we also have a 6th and 7th head-to-head in Ignis, Kingsman.
Yes, that is correct. We do. But starting off from the top, Threads double draw week was more than enough to secure them the top spot. 24 wins and no shenanigans of not enough games played. They will sit in first. Then you got Marvel versus Unitox for that second or third place, and head-to-head goes to MPB on overall goal difference. So picking up a draw for them and having a better goal difference by 15 goals secures them second place. It is then Flame on 21 wins, Mirage on 20. This has Focus and Aptus in 6th and 7th. However, Aptus, even though they had an 0-8 week, I mean, the worst thing you can possibly do, Focus needed one more game to make the play-ins. It's Aptus who take it on head-to-head, and they sweep up the 6th place spot here. Don't tell me Shatter's going to say that is wrong.
No, you just read it wrong.
I read it wrong, did I? Oh,
Yeah.
Asp. Yeah, Aptus.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I read it as team names. Yeah, that's not on Shattered. That's actually on me. It is Focus who take it. So all Aptus needed to do in the final game was win a single game, and they've got 0-8 and knocked themselves out in the process, along with Raiju, Nightfall, and Cuzzies. Thank you for the reminder, Rhino.
I got you, bro. I got you. Absolutely. Normally, I would mute myself when I'm coughing, but on that occasion, I felt like it necessary. There you go. So that's your standings for Rival. Those are your play-in and play-off teams moving forwards into the postseason. 2 tiers to go. Let's start with Elite. And now, there's something that's happened in the Elite tier, which we are going to get onto a little bit later, that I'm very, very nervous and scared to talk through. But for now, we get the easy job of going through all of the results from last week with Mal.
I'm very worried that I'm going to have to be the one talking about this in future, but we start out with, once again, a few draws, although not too many. I think there's 4 draws across Glacies. We have Atlakoya and Carbo. We have Guardians and Okami, Atarak and Aphrodite and Giles. So Aphrodite getting 2 draws this week, ending completely even. Guardians not having a great week, going 2-6. Nefeli going 4-4, despite not getting a single draw. Atlakoya just getting more wins than losses. So quite a few teams doing pretty well here. And I've just looked at the standings for Glacies, and I have realised it is going to be me who's going to have to deal with the Orc thing. So
It sure is.
We'll leave it for that.
Get excited. Let's put it this way. The Carbo versus Legacy result might have ramifications a little bit later on. Keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, over on Ignis, Kingsman, what was happening over there?
Yeah, and well, there was only 3 draws over in Elite this week. Not as many as we've seen in previous weeks, but only one team going double win, and it wasn't one of your high flyers like you might have thought. No, it was Link. An inspired run at the final few games. They beat Celery Sticks 3-1 and also beat Deception 3-1, fellow mid-table teams. They've given an absolute slap to and said, see you later. But is that going to be enough to move them into the top 6? Alongside that, you had a 9th versus 10th game. I mentioned Blaze last week, only having 6 game wins now. They managed to pick up another one at least against Magnolia in a 3-1, but they did get swept by Darkness in the only sweep of the week, one where games matter more than anything in the final. You realize how much every single game matters. It was Darkness getting a 4-0 sweep in that one. Not too much. No team going double draw this week. I think one team to pick up on for not having maybe the best week would have been Deception. Obviously, they got beat by Link, as I mentioned, and then picked up a 2-2 draw of some, which on paper is a good result. But looking at their recent run of games, 4 draws in a row, they really need to pick up a games or series win. And maybe they lost out on 6th place because of it.
I like the tease, but first we need to go and take a look at the Glacies conference, and we need to figure out what on earth happened in mid-table here, Mal. You have got to talk about it. Enjoy a 3-way tie.
I'm going to start with Pegasus owes me heavily for this one.
He does.
Jarls, at least, pretty safely first. They had 1 win ahead of Okami. No tiebreaker there. Similarly, Akami, 1 game ahead of Nefeli. No tiebreaker there. Nefeli, 2 games ahead of Legacy. No tiebreaker there. Your top 3 secure and safe. 4th, 5th, and 6th. All 22 wins. Based off what I was sent by Shattered, DSQ wins on head-to-head, coming in at 4th, coming 5 and 3 overall between the 3 of them. Azteca comes in 5th with 4 and 4 between the 2 of them. And Mistaken comes in 6th, being 3 and 5. So it was a very, very close match for that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. The remainder of the tier, or the remainder conference, is 20 wins for Ferg in 7th, 16 wins for Aphrodite in 8th, 12 for Guardians in 9th, and 11 for Cataract. So outside of the top 6, there's no tiebreakers.
Yeah, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, no problem. 7th to 10th, no problem. 4th to 6th.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute mess. An absolute mess. But congratulations to DSQ, who do win the head-to-head-to-head, and they will be going into 4th, only 1 win away from the playoffs. Legacy and Atlakoya will have a little bit more work to do before they find themselves in those playoff spots. Moving over to the Ignis conference, and, well, there is still a fair bit of mess going on as far as head-to-heads go, even at the very, very top of the table, Kingsman.
Yeah, it is Darkness versus Brothers at the top, both on 27 wins. And, well, one team gets an automatic bye to the playoffs. One has to play 1 game to figure out whether they're upper or lower bracket for the play-ins. And it is Darkness who will be getting that advance. Head-to-head goal difference sees them fly through at the top. Who'd have thought the amount of goals you scored in a game would decide your fate? Well, Bro have found out the hard way as they finish in 2nd on 27. Summit comfortable in 3rd on 25. Then Celery Sticks get the head-to-head... No, Celery Sticks don't get the head-to-head win against Link as they fall to 5th. And Link get that bye in the lower play-in rounds. So Link finished 4th and it's Celery Sticks on 5th. Deception managed to hold on to 6th place on 20 wins, going equal. And then the teams that won't be seeing then is Nguni, Freki, Magnolia. And I think that my team that have received the most hate this season is Blaze.
Yep. And 7 wins, they are one of the few that have not been able to get over that double-digit mark, unfortunately. But they'll come back just as strong next season. Brave, a constant member here in RSC. And I'm sure they'll be able to find some success in the future. Right. Well, that's 5 tiers down, 1 to go. Let's move on to the final tier. Let's take a look at Master. And for the Glacies Master results from week 5, Mal, what happened last week?
Overall, it ended relatively even. We have a lot of teams going 3-1 and then ending 1-3. We have Montezuma 3-1, 1-3. Varian 3-1, 1-3. I believe Berserkers 3-1, 1-3. I think the only team that definitely broke that was Mistaken, going 3-1, 0-4, and Tempest going 4-0, 1-3. So overall, a lot of the teams ending pretty even, except for Nox. They went 7-1, and I believe Zeus they went 3-4. So they didn't do too bad, but that one outlier aside, most teams did pretty well this week.
Interesting. We'll see if that moves the table around at all in Glacies. Over on the Ignis side, Kingsman, what are we looking at over there?
All I'll say in advance is, Mal, be happy we didn't get an extra game win in there this week, or otherwise you'd have been looking at another 3-way tie, shall we say. But now, pain aside, we move, as Rhino said, into here. And, well, pretty much the same sort of story as Glacies Conference. Really, a lot of draws coming out of this week. 3 teams going double draw this week. Virtus, Abyss, and Inferno all picking up 2 sets of draws, 2 sweeps as well. Bean getting a 4-0 and Zenith getting a 4-0. Very good games to end up for them. And also, top of the table, Yuki got a brilliant 3-1 win onto Prime. That was a make or break game for Prime. And, well, Yuki certainly broke their spirits of reaching the top of the table in that one, especially after a draw with Inferno, who were chasing that top 6 spot. Also, if you want to list off surprises, Heck got a 3-1 win against Illusion. Illusion had a slim chance of reaching the play-ins. It looked good after a draw with Bro, but getting beat by the team bottom of the table, well, that would have put a dent into their chances of making the top 6.
But were they still able to? We'll find out a little bit later on. First, we have to go and find out what the season results were from the Glacies Conference in Master Tier. Did Kingsman Gas make another playoffs in an RSC season? He sure didn't, Mal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we've been able to hear him all day with how low on the scoreboard he was at the end of this season. So,
all right.
Good.
We said we were going to bully you for it.
We did.
But before we get down to the bad result of Kingsman, first we have to go through Berserkers having 24 wins. Once again, first place, no tiebreaker, no nothing. Kazuku, 23 points, or 23 wins. Also, safely in second. However, Galaxy and Tempest, an important match between third and fourth. SCR Galaxy manages to win that on head-to-head. I believe it's just head-to-head score, yep. As we head further down, still only 3 wins away from first place. We have Nox with 21. And then another very important head-to-head. 20 wins, only 4 wins away from being first. We have Zeus and Maelstrom, who I believe Gadalian Zeus does win this, meaning that Maelstrom gets knocked out and Zeus just about makes it in. Then the backpack suddenly too heavy. Kingsman's team Mistaken coming in 8th with 19. Granted, you were only 5 wins away from being first. As I said, some teams win, some teams lose. Kingsman loses. But
Some
Furion,
draw as well. Come on now.
Yeah.
Furion coming in 9th. They've got 14. And Montezuma very, very close behind at 13 in 10th place.
Yeah, it's a tough watch to see Kingsman not make a postseason, but I guess when you don't have one of the absolute best players in the league on your team to carry you, it's just not going to happen this season. So Kingsman will come back next season, I'm sure, and try and reclaim some of his joy. I'm sure he's on the phone to Dansku as we speak. Moving on to the Ignis Conference. As we take a look at what happened over here, there is one final head-to-head that we need to discuss, although the placement of it isn't especially important in the context of play-ins and playoffs, Kingsman.
Yeah, all I'll say, Mal, is be happy we didn't sweep Berserkers, or otherwise there'd have been a head-to-head for first place, a three-way tie for that final sixth place spot, and you'd have been doing a lot more work. So I think you should be appreciating my lack of making play-ins. Thank you. But anyway, I'm not here to go over the Glaciers Conference. I'm here to go over Ignis and 28 wins. You knew it was going to happen from the start. It's UK top in the table. Not as dominant as some might think with a 70% win rate, but they get the job done. Then it's Bean in second on 26 with Prime on 24. Good seasons for all three teams. Then behind them, you've got Zenith, Virtus, and Abyss. Very good grouping. And if you want to know about the head-to-heads, Virtus hold on to fifth. Obviously going double draw in the final week. Doesn't see any movement for them. Same with Abyss. Inferno just needed an extra win to be in that fight for the top. Then falling away was Bro, Illusion, and Heck. I did talk about whether Ranshiro would be seeing the postseason. He will not.
Sadly not, but I mean, that benefits us on the Rounds team stream in SSA, because that means he can just focus on what's going on RLCS. Congratulations as well to Renshiro, back to top 8 in Open 4 of RLCS. We absolutely love that for him. Just couldn't get it done on a cold Tuesday night in the UK. Right, we are done then. That is going to do it as far as our recap goes. The only thing left is to check out our franchise standings at the end of the season. Where did each franchise finish in the table? Mal, talk us through the bottom half.
So, before the season started, I made a joke. The SCR was the worst franchise. And sadly for them, they're the only franchise not to get triple-digit wins this season.
Oh.
They end on 96 wins, a minus 126 goal difference. Yep. Very, very close by. We have Brave Esports at 100 wins in 19th place. 103 wins puts Azteca in 18th. And with only a couple extra wins, Unitox and Godalians 17th and 16th. We then have 112, a bit of a jump up, for Aspire, coming in 15th place. 114 for Neat in 14th. And then I'm assuming this is done off goal difference, but someone may correct me here. Team Vortic coming in 13th place with 116. Dexterity coming in 12th with 116. The only thing that I see majorly difference is that Dexterity had 2 goal difference, as opposed to Vortic's minus 67. Thank you very much, Kingsman. And finally, in 11th place, we have Bro with 117 wins.
I do kind of want someone to do the maths. If you did head-to-head across Dexterity and Vortic in every single tier.
No. Three teams was bad enough. 3 teams. Actually, how do you do head-to-head? Do you want to compare league table standings? Do you want to compare...
No, just their matches.
It gets two... Are they in the same conference?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're not. No, they're not.
They're not in the same conference.
Vortex and Glacies, Dexterity's in Ignis. So, yeah,
in
good
which
luck
case,
doing head-to-head. Let's just say it's goal difference.
Yeah, we'll just say it's goal difference to move on. That's a shame. Maybe at some point a piece of content could be that we take the teams that are even at the end of the season, we put all of their teams together and play like a big end of season event. That would be fun. Anyway, moving on to, before I give people in RSC more work to do, let's go up to the top 10 of the franchise standings. Kingsman, who was the cream of the crop in RSC Season 17?
Well, I've got a sort of question to pose about this one in 10th. Considering they have essentially a legal challenger team, do you wipe all of their wins in challenger? So are we dropping them to what would be 90 wins and sending them to the bottom of franchise standings? I mean, there's a debate for it, surely. But I think for this moment in time, we will say they are in 10th. For those of you who weren't there in chat, their challenger team did not play the mandatory sub games, so will not be making the postseason. Anyway, 119 wins for them in 10th. It's then Shadow in 9th with 123 games. It is then Team MPB 131, Mistaken on 132, and well, a three-way tie, DSQ, Team Serene, and Chrome all on 133. Look how close it was at the end. Honestly, I still think what would have happened if we picked up an extra game win? We'd have gone up to 5th on franchise standards, but not to be. It is Chrome of 410 goal difference, the best actually of the bunch. So fair play to them. I think. Oh no, never mind. My theory's got disproven. But they might be the only team to score 600 goals across. I was going to say they're the only team not to have conceded 500 goals, but they're I think the only team to not score less than 600 goals. So massive congratulations to all of their teams. Then you've got Nexus Esports 134, Berserkers 137, and it's Deathcloud Esports who take the top of the pile. And I know for a fact this could have been very different because I casted a game on stream between Berserkers and Mistaken that if Berserkers had gone on to win the OT in that final game, they'd have been tied with Deathcloud at the top.
I will say, before we continue,
Go on.
I do know Illusory missed out in Challenger because of one sub-match not being played.
Yeah,
I
it was
say we
11
take
out
that
of 12.
one game and then...
Okay.
Take the
Let's see what we
29.
can.
Take all 29. Banish them to the bottom.
From what I understand, it was a forfeit that they had, a single game forfeit, and that cost them their entire season.
Well, you've got how many games is it now to play 12 sub games? As Ark would love
20?
to tell you, you can't be relying on forfeits. You've got what would it be? 10 series. So yeah, 40.
Yeah,
you got to play
40.
12. You got 40 games to play 12 games. So leaving it all to the final week, which was probably what happened in this scenario, probably not the best idea.
Maybe not. Maybe not in the end, but either way, Illusory will be very upset that their Chally team won't be able to compete in playoffs, but rules are there for a reason, folks. They must be abided. So there it is. Your play-in and playoff teams are set. Whether we got them right or not is yet to be decided, but I hope we did. Kingsman, going to come to you first. We were talking before stream that you're actually not too sad to be missing out on playoffs for a change. Is that right?
Yeah. As much as I would love to, this is no disrespect to my teammates at all. I love playing with them all season long. It's just I have absolutely no motivation to play Rocket League at the minute. I'm not playing RLCS. I'm not playing ranked. I'm not playing. There's literally just no point for me to play Rocket League apart from RSC. And now that's done, I can sort of take a mini break, go on free play for 5 minutes once a day, and say, yeah, that's my Rocket League playing time done. But yeah, I don't mind it. As much as I'm sad for the team and what I think the run we could have made is, I'm not going to be throwing anything that we haven't made it.
Mal, I'm going to come to you as well. Obviously, it's been an interesting season for yourself. A couple of games where you've been playing up a tier, needing to help out your franchise in multiple different ways. How's the experience been for you? Oh, he's muted himself.
Yeah, go on, tell us, Mal. That's it.
Tell us, Mal.
You got this.
I'm
He's
just
figuring
pretending
it
to be
out.
Pegasus.
There he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one word I gave was chaos. I
Sure.
started out in Illusory Prospect. They dropped me in preseason and then picked up by Deathcloud Challenger, where I was originally just going to do the minimum sub games because I'm playing up a tier, I'm already manually adjusted, God knows what. And then I was coming home one day and I get a message from one of my players going, I've broken my arm, I can't play. And so instead, I played the last 3 series, I think, or out of the 4 series that we had left, I played 3 of them. So I ended up doing way more than sub games. But we still managed to do pretty well. And unlike Kingsman, we've made it to playoffs. So can't be going wrong.
Who'd have thought the only man being in playoffs in RSC at the end of the season is Mal? That's that was not on my bingo card for RSC 17, that's for sure. Speaking of chaos though, Mal, it's time to take a look at some clips and fails of the week. One of my favorite parts of the week here on RSCast. We absolutely are crying out for more clips and fails. So I can't exactly remember what Pegasus asked for last week, but let's see if anybody actually got involved and did anything that he asked for. Let's take a look first at your clips of the week.
It's that time of the week again. RSC-eu's Clip of the Week, brought to you by trophi.ai. Use code RSC-eu to get 12% off Rocket League coaching for 12 months. Now, let's check out the plays.
Well, there you go, your clips of the week for the final week of regulation. Mal, anything that stood out for you there? He's done it again.
Okay.
He's into
it's because whenever I
as well.
transition, it mutes me again.
Okay.
All I was going to say is the 1 week where I'm on, it feels like it's the 1 week where the clips have really not been as impressive. I think Pegasus asked for a Psycho. I remember that much. And I think it was a funky flip reset, which the pull shot almost was, but I think that was the most impressive one in my eyes.
Interesting. Kingsman. I think it's agreed that this is a pretty weak really for clip of the week. Any that's particularly stood out to you though?
Yeah, you know it's a bad batch when I'm looking at a clip that I clipped in one of my series and I didn't submit because I didn't think it was good enough. I'm thinking, damn, there's actually a chance I could have made it here. But no, I think on as much as I like the three-way passing plays. I think the second one, I can't remember. I think it was one in Prospect with Vortic. The last defender's pre-jumped. And as much as it's a nice final shot, when the defender's in Narnia like that, it's just like, it's basically shooting on open net like it's free play. Come on. You got to be doing better than that. The defense in the Academy game was better, guys. Come on. But no, I think the standout for me was Petroid's shot. Never thought I'd be saying those words on RSCast, by the way. Standout shot and Petroid in the same sentence. I mean, surely those two things don't work together. But no, lovely flip reset onto the backboard. I don't know the true name for it, and then a lovely finish just under the crossbar as well. Didn't bounce either. If that was me, it'd be Petroid's by country mile.
Well, it's not, Kingsman. The chat has spoken, and it is Vortic Academy who take home the victory. They take home the clip of the week, and as you can tell, Kingsman is absolutely thrilled about it. So let's remind him of just how good that clip was, along with all of the rest of our clips of the week.
It's that time of the week again. RSC-eu's Clip of the Week, brought to you by trophi.ai. Use code RSC-eu to get 12% off Rocket League coaching for 12 months. Now, let's check out the plays.
I see you in chat, Moggy, by the way. I see you pleading your case. Unfortunately, you do not win Clip of the Week, but I respect the argument. I do. And this should be a lesson to everybody, folks. You never know the quality of Clips of the Week coming through into the RSC. So please make sure if there is a clip that you get in one of your RSC games that you submit it to Clips of the Week. That would be the absolute best thing that you could possibly do. Mal, how do they do that?
I'm telling you, he's doing a really good Pegasus impression, isn't he?
This is really good. I'm impressed.
What was your question again? I've completely lost it.
If a player wants to submit their clip to Clip of the Week, Mal, how would they do that?
You go to the RSC Discord in the links channel and click on RSC 17 Clip of the Week submission. And it will take you to I believe it's Google form. And the same for Fail of the Week as well, just beneath it.
There you go. Thank you very much. So if you would like to submit your Clip of the Week, that is exactly how you can do that. And don't worry, although the regular season is over, we will still be collecting Clips of the Week from postseason as far as I understand. Does anyone want to correct me before I move on? No one wants to correct me. Therefore, keep submitting your clips, folks. That's all we can say. Well, it may have been a weak week for Clip of the Week, but how was it for Fail of the Week? We've not had many incredible fails across this season of RSC. Can week 5 lift the bar, fill the gap left by Clip of the Week? Let's find out. Let's check out your fails of the week.
And now we have RSC-eu's Fail of the Week, brought to you by trophi.ai. Haha, well, if you're on the video this week, you should probably go and buy yourself some coaching under code RSC-eu.
Well, the answer to my question before that is no, not really. But Mal, couple of fails there. Any that you look at and you go, that one was more unlucky than bad play? Is he muted again? He's done it again.
You should really stop asking questions. You should really give him time to answer these questions.
I should go to Kingsman first. I've learned my lesson now.
But I do think that first one felt very much more unlucky, whereas Callie's last one, I mean, I think it's going to win the vote because it was impressive. Was very much a fail.
Yeah, it was, and I'll tell you something. It is already raced out to a huge lead on the chat vote. Kingsman, please tell the people why we need more fails of the week.
Because we want proper entertainment. Because we want to see the best fails. We want to see. I'm a bit sad. I haven't submitted a fail of the week this season. I should have stepped up. I should have been failing more. I mean, I did a season where I don't make top 6 and there's no fails from me. I mean, come on now. This seems a bit too scripted from my end. But honestly, I think that second shot gave me flashbacks to season 14 grand finals. If Pegasus was here, he would know exactly the moment I was talking about. Game 4 to go 2-2 in the series with 10 seconds left. I miss an open net and we go on and lose an overtime to go 3-1 down. But yeah, that type of shot gives me trauma every single time. But yeah, I think Callie's, just for the beauty of the shot, is going to take it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that you mentioned that you didn't make top 6 because, of course, the joke that writes itself was going to be, well, don't worry, Kingsman, you've got time to submit a fail of the week in the post.
Also, Kingsman, we do have a graphic ready for you for fail of the week. Don't worry.
What?
It looks just like this. Hold on.
Ah! He's got him.
Oh,
Just
camera's
let it
disappeared.
let it do the thing.
Oh, there it is.
Ah! Good job, Mal. Oh well, there goes. Yeah, there goes its camera. Well, while we go and fix Kingsman's camera, you guys can watch the fails of the week one more time. And your fail of the week that has been confirmed is Callie. Congratulations. Enjoy.
And now we have RSC-eu's Fail of the Week, brought to you by trophi.ai. Haha, well, if you're on the video this week, you should probably go and buy yourself some coaching under code RSC-eu.
Well, there you go. Your clips and fails of the week. All done and dusted. Thank you very much. And as Conflict has asked in chat, can we please make sure that we do some clip farming in the post-season so the clip of the season can be something of high quality? I'm sure it will be anyway. But speaking of high quality, we've got the weekly awards to give out for week 5, our final regular season awards of the season. And we can go ahead and take a look at who won the individual awards for each tier. So let's start, as we always do, in the Academy tier. And we will start with... I'll go with Kingsman for Academy.
Yes, and it is Krolex, the MVP, 487 points per game. And it's Jam's Jar, your finisher, 1.5 assists per game. And Big Chebs making an appearance as your striker. Clearly rubbed off that shooting from last week with a 62.5% shooting percentage. And it's Zombie with 1.5 assists per game. Nothing dead about his passing this week. And then it is Jazz, your saviour, beating Dave the Rave on head-to-head by 2 saves per game, which is low for what it normally is. But I will shout Jazz out because he has ended up as silver on 2 of the other awards as well. So a very good week for him, but he only gets credited with a gold for 1.
There you go. Gotta say, it's quite impressive to see 5 different logos on a screen on Players of the Week. I feel like we don't get that very often. Normally there's one org who have performed better or than most of the others, or one individual player specifically, but it's not happened this week in Academy. Has it happened this week in Prospect? Let's move up into the next tier. And Mal, talk us through the Prospect Players of the Week.
We have Cutie Pie coming in MVP, gold place, 496 points. Second award for Cutie Pie. Finisher getting first place once again, 1.63 goals per game. Your striker coming out to be Merits at 45% shooting accuracy. A 3-way tie in Playmaker between Vital Mags, Rex, and Rise. Let me just double check that. It comes out to a 3-way tie on the amount of goals scored, the amount of assists per game. The amount of assists is also a tie at 8. And then we have a 62.5% goal participation from Vital Mags, 61.5 for Rex, and a 52.17 for Rise. And then finally, your savior coming out to Nama 31, tied with Evitsu. Once again, that being broken on... I don't actually know what that one is. I think that's times conceded per game. Maybe? I don't know.
Possibly,
GCPG is what broke the tie.
Okay. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Don't mind that at all. But yep, for the first time, this week we have a player who's got 2 goals. Congratulations, Cutie Pie of the Mushy Pea Brains. Merits Vital Mag and Nama as well. Let's go up to the next tier then. Let's take a look at the Chally players of the week. And Kingsman, we are back with you. Who stood out in week 5?
Well, Woods the Owl was your MVP, 491 points per game. Also your finisher, 1.75 goals per game. He's not going to be your striker, though. He does pick up a second place there, but your striker is going to be... Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, we'll get to that when we do. Hakon ATW is your striker, 50% shooting. Especially good that he's picked up silver in the finishing department. So a great result for him. And Tracy also picked up 2 third places there, so congrats to him. Your playmaker is no one.
Give me 1 sec.
On the FA list. And this isn't no one, by the way. As much as I like to joke,
It's Red again.
this it's who?
Red again. You know the
Red.
same one last week.
Yeah, Red again, who is seemingly on the FA list and not there, but he's your playmaker, 1.5 assists per game. And then Yasmine from God Alliance is your savior of 2 saves per game with a cheeky Buddha in 3rd place.
A cheeky Buddha in 3rd place, yeah. Absolutely. Great sentence that. Just use it in a casual sentence tomorrow. It will improve your life. As we move forward, congratulations if you see your name on this screen. Let's take a look at the rival players of the week. Once again, back with Mal to talk us through who performed well in rival in week 5.
Starting out, we have Barsiag
again
for illusory.
No way.
Hold on.
This guy must be really good. He's won Challenger Awards and now Rival Awards.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on fire.
Impressive.
We have a problem here. Usually, on the stat sheet, when there's no name, there's a player ID. There is no player ID for this one.
Ah.
Does that
I
mean
do
he's
not
left
know
the
who
server?
this is. I don't know. All I know is that they had 1.63 goals per game and a 56.52% shooting accuracy. If anyone knows who it is,
after the season,
please tell me. Mensu, however, coming in as your playmaker with 1.63 assists, maybe assisting every single goal from the finisher. We don't know. We don't know who they are.
Maybe.
The saviour being Benelman with 2.75 saves per game.
There you go. So, once again, congratulations if you do, or I guess don't, see your name on the rival players of the week this week. Let's take a look then at the elite tier players of the week who pushed their teams forwards for playoff and play-in glory. Kingsman, talk us through it.
Yeah, it was full 511 points per game. He's your MVP. Ahead of RMD, who picks up, oh my god, same 1, 2, 3, by the way, on all of them. Just to shout them out. RMD hasn't picked up an award yet. Is he going to feature on every single one? He isn't. That is a shame. But big props to Fool and RMD. They've both appeared on 4 of the players of the week. An absolute storming week for both of them. Fool picking up 2 golds, a silver and a bronze, and RMD picking up 2 silvers, a bronze, and a gold. So very strong weeks for those players respectively. Shout out Sam as well, picking up 2 third places. So Fool is your MVP and your finisher. Rico is your striker with 52% shooting. RMD is your playmaker. Can't believe we see a 0 point on there for assists per game. And your savior is April, who I believe we've seen here before. 2.13 saves per game.
Yeah, and that's actually tied with Rilo as well in silver, so that's going to be a tiebreaker had to be had there too. Finally then, let's move up to the master tier, who were the players of the week in our top tier in RSC. And Mal, you can talk through all of the players of the week from week 5.
Up with Yotam from Godalians, coming in with 513.25 points a game, which is a very, very good score. Slayer Crime coming in as your finisher, 1.38 goals per game, beating out second place due to due to shooting percentage as I'm sure you
There
can
you go.
see on the next one, where Slayer Crime got 44% shooting accuracy, as well as Harley in Playmaker getting 1.25 plays per game, assists per game, sorry, all over the place. Also, Yotam being another 0 point on the Playmaker. And finally, Tiago getting 2.5 saves per game. And similar to the last one, I believe Yotam appears on 4 of the awards here.
Yeah, absolutely. The only one they're missing out on is Striker. And yeah, again, a shame that we have a 0 point on the assists per game. You'd have thought come the end of the season that people would have started to get that team chemistry and we'd see a few more passing plays and a few more assists on your players of the week. That has not been the case, I guess, this season. But for one final time in the regular season, that is your players of the week done. So let's take a look then at your team of the week for week 5. RSC-EU's Team of the Week, brought to you by SpartanWare, home of the official RSC-EU merch store. There you go then, your team of the week for week number 5. Endrick, Cutie Pie, Woodsy Owl, Resist Jaguar, Fall, and Ben. Kingsman, anyone you want to particularly pick out? I know there's none from Mistaken, so you can't show favoritism.
Well, I think the ones we saw coming were Fall, Woodsy Owl, and Cutie Pie, obviously from their stats this week. But one shout out is Ben. I know he's a low CMV player in the Master Tier, and helping Nox make the play-ins in their final week. So congrats to him. Obviously, Resist Jaguar and Endrick, I know about. Ben, not so much. So it's good to see the newer players making their mark in the final week of League Play.
Absolutely. What about you, Mal? Anyone you want to particularly shine a spotlight on?
I mean, I didn't know that Kingsman played in Prospect. That's all I got to say.
Way.
Oh, you both made that joke in the last, 2 minutes. It is exhausting.
They've got no
It
proof
is
that Kingsman
exhausting
said it
out here.
first.
Yeah.
Oh, what the...
But there you go. I'm sure everyone else in chat was thinking it anyway. So those are your team of the week for week number 5. Congratulations if you see your name there. And, well, that's pretty much going to do it for us this week here on RSCast. Kingsman, end of the season, postseason around the corner. What would you like to say to the people?
No postseason for me. Sorry, that's the last time I made that joke, I promise. But yeah, there we go.
It's never not funny, to be fair.
It's true. It is never normally funny. And sadly, we didn't get that many counters in because it's only a 5-week season this week. Mal, did you have a counter going? We didn't get that many in this week. This might be a record low, I think.
It might.
For that.
Like 5,
but
maybe 6.
Only 5. Oh, that's good. But no, top 6 teams from each conference go through now. And, well, we determine a winner in every tier. It is knockout, so all I will say to those teams participating is good luck. And if you're a playoffs team, or aka making that top 3, don't go 0-2 and you will be the laughing stock of the tier.
It's absolutely true. Mal, it's not very often we get to have you on the desk here on RSCast. You are normally very much behind the scenes. How was your experience having to run both production and be a guest?
Honestly, the worst experience of my life. No,
Yep.
it was all right.
Makes sense.
Would have preferred if it was Pegasus here, not Kingsman, but I can't always choose who I have to work with, so you know.
I'm just happy he didn't say me. That's a big victory in my book. Right, so a little bit of housekeeping before we send everybody away. This week is a dark week for RSC. This is your Easter break. So you guys have this week to go away, hopefully to train with your team for an extra week before the playoffs kick in next week.
What, you think they're going to spend it with their family? Come on now.
Yeah, obviously not. That's a good point. Then next week, we will have the Academy and the Prospect playoffs and play-ins. The following week after that, we will have Chally and Rival. And then the final week will be Elite and Master. We will not be running RSCast as you've seen it up to this point to get there. We are likely to have a stream on Monday night, but who will be on the desk and what that will be is yet to be determined. So keep your eyes out for that one. Yeah, it's probably not going to be you, buddy. Keep looking around.
No, it's
but,
not.
You know, it's not going to be me either, so I don't know why I said that.
I don't think it's going to be me, so...
Pegasus
all
on his
three of us
own
are signing out.
In the three Pegasuses just doing the predictions all by himself.
Yeah, Pegasus is going to pre-record 3 different versions of himself and play them all at the same time in the 3 slots. It's going to be great. It's going to be a pain for conflict to edit, though, that's for sure. Anyway,
yeah.
Make sure you stick around for RSC_EU. On Monday night, we will be bringing you at least some description of predictions going into the playoffs. Make sure you watch all of the play-ins and playoffs over the next 3 weeks. And then I'm sure we will be back for the awards that you all so dearly love at the end of the season. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Badass Studios, SpartanWare, trophi.ai. And if you buy anything from the Epic Store, make sure that you use our creator code RSC-EU. It really helps us out. But for Mal, for Kingsman, and for myself, it's been a pleasure to take you through all of the action from week 5. Good luck to all of the teams in play-ins and playoffs. We wish you all very, very well indeed. Until awards, we will see you later. Take care. We'll see all of you there.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, you get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact sort of movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch. It's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.